All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first long form locker room podcast. I have a collaborator. Hopefully, we can do something long term, but for one time only at least. Mr. Devin Walker, thanks for joining us this day.
Welcome to the locker room. The first time guest, long time listener. Happy to be here.
Thank
It's
you.
it's uh it's Christmas in August here with the first week of the NFL season approaching. And you know what better two gentlemen than us to dive into some futures plays, some week one plays, and kind of get this season off to a winning start.
Absolutely. And we got gifts. We got a fat guy and we got some gifts. So it definitely is Christmas in August. And we're gonna do some futures for you. We're gonna do some week one picks. I'm gonna start with the jersey I'm wearing. I know you can't see, but it's number 4. Dak Prescott,
Ooh.
a very interesting name, both in fantasy and NFL communities. I took a look at this touchdown number, 26 and a half on FanDuel. We got to pound that, dude. It's minus 102.
Pound the
It's
over.
pound the over. There is no chance he doesn't hit this if he stays healthy. Dak Prescott, 26 and a half touchdowns, minus 102. You pound it. If you like that 30 touchdown number, if you like that 35 touchdown number, I think they're both good. But this 26.5, I think, is cash money.
Yeah, let's just dive into that quickly. Micah Parsons just got shipped. He's a Green Bay
Correct.
Packer now. A bad defense just got a lot worse. If they're going to win games, they have to throw the ball. Dak Prescott has to throw touchdowns. And I wouldn't be surprised. I don't have his number from last season on hand. But I wouldn't be surprised if he eclipsed that last year with the addition of George Pickens this year. That's an absolute no-brainer to me. And I like what you said about the alt line. I would walk that up to 30 and a half and not feel weird about it at all.
Absolutely. Even 30 is that's less than 2 on average per game with Pickens and Lamb and I don't want to say a lack of a running game, but an unproven running game. To me, this is an absolute lock, and that is LOQ for those of you with a dictionary. That's a lock for you. Devin, what do you got for your first future?
Lock it in. So I'm going to start with my most conservative future, and it's actually centered around a team that we just mentioned. I liked the Packers before Micah Parsons. I really liked the Packers with Micah Parsons. Let's talk about the Vikings, unproven quarterback. Let's talk about the Bears. Well, they are the Bears. And then we've got your Detroit Lions, who I really like, but I would not be surprised if the Packers make a push for that division. At minus 196, bit of a conservative futures play. Give me the Packers to make the playoffs at minus 196. To me, it's free cash. NFC is pretty much wide open with the new structure of the playoffs. This seems completely free. The number is indicative of that. So I'm fine. I've got some other more juicy futures, but for right now, for me, give me the Packers to make the playoffs at minus 196 with a Micah Parsons addition to a team I already loved.
I think you lock it up and go to this is what we call go to sleep. You go to sleep and you know that you're good here. I
Mm-hmm.
think with Michael Parsons coming here, what it does to the franchise, it tells everybody, no, we're serious about this whole thing.
Yeah.
We're putting our chips on the table and we're
Mm-hmm.
going. You said it. The one point that's huge here is the NFC completely wide open.
Yep.
Completely wide open. We'll see who emerges out of, if at all, anyone out of the NFC South. But no one's worried about that conference. It's
Nope.
or that division, I should say. The conference is wide open. I do love that pick. Ambitious at the minus 196, but I do think it is free money. So I'll rock with you there. I'm not going to dissent too hard. Now, let's talk about a rookie. Now, there is a rookie that plays both ways in Jacksonville. His name is
Ooh.
Travis Hunter. Just announced that he's going to have a child. There's been some talks about him and his girl, but the guy is laser focused on building a family and building a career. This receiving touchdown number, 4.5. Now, it looks fair. It looks
Mm-hmm.
fair, but if he is what he was in college, which is a go-to receiver, even with Brian Thomas there, you got Liam Cohen coming from that Tampa Bay, gun it, Baker Mayfield tossing it. I think he unlocks Trevor Lawrence, and I think he easily breaks this. I have him probably at 7 or 8 touchdowns, 4.5. It's only minus 106. To me, you hammer this. Travis Hunter plus 4.5.
Travis Hunter plus 4.5. I like it. Another 4.5 line that's not in my futures, but that I think is excellent. There seems to be some sort of ripple effect from a very popular engagement that's been happening. And we're going to try not to talk a ton about Taylor Swift here today, but we will mention her. Another Travis, Kelsey at
Yes.
4.5. Maybe I'm just throwing this out there. Maybe a two-man Travis parlay, both to hit their over touchdown props. Travis Kelsey could be there in the first 10 weeks with a 6-week Rashad Rice suspension. So I like the Hunter play. I'm a Hunter fan, although he did FSU dirty, and that is my squad. But
Correct.
yeah, I'm not at all scared at 5 touchdowns for him. And it's going to bring me very well into my next future, which is also a rookie, which is Offensive Rookie of the Year, coming in at 14-1. And I am pounding the hometown hero, Travion Henderson. I have only seen 2 players in my college football live viewing life that have dominated a game the way Travion Henderson has. And when you see him raw, uncut, live on the field, you can understand the big playability. I think that's really what Rookie of the Year is made of. Jaden Daniels was the other player that I watched play FSU. Thankfully, he got hurt. They ended up winning the game by a field goal. When I saw him play live, I was blown away. When I saw Travion Henderson play live, I was blown away. He's in a Patriots offense with a mobile quarterback that can gun it. They really have Stephon Diggs fine. They really have no wideout ones. He's going to be catching passes. He's going to be making big plays. He also returns kicks. This kid is a stud. You heard it here first. Travion Henderson, Offensive Rookie of the Year, 14-1.
Dude, I love the value here. I don't know if I'm gonna pound it because me personally, I'm always gonna take a quarterback. But the value at 14-1 is insane. We see what rookie running backs do in the second half of the season, especially in this type of scenario. You might hear me say Ramondre Stevenson's name later in my week 1 picks, but when it comes to the succession of an NFL season, the rookie running backs towards the second half emerge and surge. I do love this pick. I love the value here. Travion Henderson,
and it is
player of the year.
You said it right. It's a value play. I mean, you're not gonna bet 14-1 and expect to win the bet. But I think you're gonna walk into like week 8 with Travion Henderson with 6 touchdowns and 400 yards on the ground and think there's a chance.
Absolutely.
And that is enough. I'll throw $100 down to win 1,400 just for the excitement that I'm going to get after week 8.
Yeah, just to have some fun, man. Just to have some fun. Definitely one of those guys that like you reach for in a fantasy draft, but if you can't get him, or even if you do get him, throw an extra 100 on it for Rookie of the Year. My next future, we're gonna go to the NFC East. Now, I don't know how you're gonna feel about this one, but with Russell Wilson in New York, I kind of like this 6+ number on FanDuel. We have it at -110. I like the Giants to win at least 6 games. We see what happens in Dallas. They lose a defensive end, and I think that defense is pretty solid. So give me the Giants at get to 6 or over wins. Is that crazy to you?
I mean, the Giants are so bad. They're so bad. I don't hate the play, but the Giants are bad. Russell Wilson is bad. The Patriots actually just got what do they call him? Tommy Pasta Sauce or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just grabbed probably their most notable quarterback. Jackson Dart stinks. If Russell Wilson stays healthy, if Neighbors stays healthy, I think you've got a shot. The division is weak. No offense, Cowboy fans, but it's weak. So I think they'll get 3 wins in the division. Are they going to get 3 wins outside of the division? I don't know. I guess we're fixing to find out. I'll stay off that, but I admire your courage.
I do. I get it. It looks disgusting. It's gross. It's like a 3 at the bar, but it's a score. To me, it's an absolute win. Sometimes you got to go home with a 3 and you close. That's just what it is there. What do you got next?
I'll stick on the same kind of route here and go with a wins total over. I'm going to go with the New England Patriots, 8+ wins at -160. The Jets are abysmal. The Dolphins might be worse. Buffalo is nasty, but statistically, the Patriots have the third easiest schedule in the NFL. They might have 6 wins after 9 weeks. 8+, I'm absolutely fine with. The number is 8.5. I walked it down one game because I don't want to get snake bit. If they win 8 games, they'll probably win 10 because they're either just going to stink or they're going to be decent. And they have a schedule that could give them 10 games. I feel really, really safe at 8+ Patriots wins. I'm walking it all the way to the bank.
And we got 2 homer picks here, and I'm proud of you for that because you got to put your money where your mouth is. You got
100%.
Vrabel coming in, very familiar territory for him. He knows what this division is about. He knows what the city of New England is about. I like the pick. I'm not as ambitious. I do think the Dolphins will be better. I do think the Jets will be better than you think. I'm going to stay off of this, but also I know that Drake May is highly regarded amongst NFL, people with information. So I'm going to trust that. I'm going to stay off it, but I'm also going to have a homer pick myself. I'm going to skip over one and I'm going to come back. Actually, you know what? I'm going to stay into the division. Who I think is having a bounce back year, it's obvious. I don't care. Could he get traded? Yes. Tyreek Hill. And there's 2 of them here.
All over it.
This receiving numbers on FanDuel at -114 is 950.5. That's a 60-70 yard average. You pound that, dude. You pound that. And the touchdown number 7.5, a little bit harder, but that's at +128. I think that's a great value. You pound both of those. Even if they're a shit football team, they're going to be throwing the football a lot. And I suspect that Tyreek Hill is just as good as he's always been. All these rumors about him losing a step, no problem. If you lose a step from an Olympic pace, you're still an Olympic pace runner. It is what it is.
100%. This is actually a very similar play to me as your Dak over touchdowns. I think that we'll see a comparison between the Dolphins and the Cowboys in that they don't have a great defense. They're going to have to score. And Tyreek Hill and Waddle are going to have to produce. The only question mark here is whether or not Tua stays healthy. One late hit to the dome, and he is under such a microscope from the league, he's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. And if that happens, I don't even know who the backup is, but he's not going to be very good. So that scares me a little bit. That's why I'm off A-Chain and Waddle in fantasy. I'm actually on Hill because I think he's got wild 4th, 5th round upside. But I like the pick. I'm going to take the yards. I'm going to stay off the touchdowns.
Okay. And I totally legitimate concern with the Tua thing. I do think it is interesting that Mike McDaniel is essentially betting his job and betting his franchise on the health of Tua. The fact that you don't go out and get a Kirk Cousins, or to me, that was the most obvious choice. So hope maybe that does happen. And if that happens, I think everyone is going to feel like I wish I had Tyreek Hill because he's still him, in my opinion. So who do you got next?
I'm going to package my next 2 picks together because they are in direct contradiction of each other. I have got Lamar Jackson, MVP, the betting favorite at +430. I believe it will be a 2-horse race with the next quarterback that is piloting the team that I believe is going to win the Super Bowl, and that is the Buffalo Bills. Give me the Bills to win the Super Bowl at +750. Give me Lamar Jackson for MVP at +430. Do those things necessarily go hand in hand? No, it's a regular season award, but we all know that the postseason drastically influences those votes. So it's a bit of an insurance policy, low chance they both happen, but I really feel like Lamar Jackson is the most dynamic quarterback in football with an aging running back who obviously is still the absolute man, but this team goes as far as Lamar Jackson goes. And right now, for them to be the Super Bowl favorites, it's hard for me not to take the best player on the Super Bowl favorited team to win MVP. I don't feel like we need to kind of overthink this, reinvent the wheel here. It's happened several times before. Mahomes has done it. Tom Brady has done it. It is a bit of a pattern play, and I'm fine with that. But I really like the Buffalo Bills this year coming out of a bad division. And even though I have the Pats winning 8+ games, that is a bad division. Their road to the Super Bowl will be easy. And because of how bad Lamar Jackson is in the playoffs, I think that's who they'll see in the AFC Championship game. And it will be who is going to blow this worse. And in that scenario, I will take the Bills to blow it. Not as bad.
Not as bad.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So Bills I love, and I actually took them by accident last year. I have a Bills future in already. I do think that they probably can get over the hump. However, the Lamar Jackson, I'm going to strongly disagree, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I think, like you said, the postseason kind of affects that. When it comes to Lamar Jackson, you think about, to me, he's like LeBron. And let me give you the comparison here. LeBron can win an MVP every year. Every single year he's in the, not anymore, but for the first 15 years of his career, every single year he wins an MVP. But when you've won it so many times, if it's close at all, it's going to go to somebody else, in my opinion. I think it goes to a Burrow. I think it goes to a Herbert, a Mahomes, an Allen, even twice in a row, over someone like Lamar, unless they're undefeated, in my personal opinion, just because I feel like that particular award is more of a storyline award. So I'm going to pass on that one. I do love the Bills. I think they are, you know, my bet out of the AFC in terms of the most rounded, well-rounded team. I also do kind of agree with you. I think their division is kind of whatever. I don't think New England is going to be as good as you think. And I do think the other teams are all middle of the road. They're all going to be competitive. But they're head and shoulders above them. Now, the one thing I worry about is Sean McDermott too conservative of a coach to win the big one? Probably, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we know the riverboat gambler Dan Campbell is not conservative enough. So
and has fumbled his way out of multiple Super Bowls, correct?
We got to find the Goldilocks of risk assessment here. And I feel like McDermott may, just because he hasn't really taken all those risks, I think we're going to see a Bills franchise that's going to go for broke this year. And I mean, it's law of averages says they've got to win it eventually, right? I mean, I guess even as a Pats fan, I'm a Bills guy. Aren't we all Bills fans?
Tell that to the Bills of the 90s, Devin. Tell that to the Bills of the 90s. 4 straight without one. I mean, look, they're clearly a dominant franchise right now with a great quarterback in his prime. The guy just got married. He's living his best life. I think he's ready, but there's just a lot to be said in the AFC. I mean, I worry about the Bengals. I don't know if they have the defense, but to me, like, there's just too many quarterbacks I'm afraid of to put my stamp on them right now. I do like the pick. I just, who knows? All right, I'm gonna take a homer pick. It's my turn for a homer pick. I got the Detroit Lions to win the NFC North at plus 180. Why am I taking this bet? Is because in my opinion, it's a 2-horse race. I'm not worried about Minnesota. I'm not worried about Chicago. So in a 2-horse race with Green Bay, who is a good football team, who has a good quarterback, who now maybe they go into elite defensive category. I don't know. But give me the Lions. Been there, done that. Division winners the last couple years. Plus 180 on FanDuel. Lions to win the North.
Plus 180 seems really high.
That's what I'm saying.
Plus 180 seems really high. That's very interesting. I guess then my Packers playoff at minus 196 makes a little bit more sense. I was making that bet with them as a wild card team. I had given the division to Detroit. So, I mean, even with the addition of Micah Parsons, what they were able to do last year and how bought in they are in this system, I think we can all say this. We're all Bills fans. We're all Lions fans.
Thank you.
We're all Bills and Lions fans. No one is going to say, oh, I hate the Bills. Oh, I hate the Lions for the same reasons, right? Because they're kind of like, you know, the kid that comes and to the court to play and, you know, he might hit a couple threes, but we know he's not going to win the big game. And I think that's why it's fun to watch. Really bad analogy, but you get what I'm saying. No one's afraid of those teams, but you want to root for them. So sure. I love the pick. I'm happy. I'll be happy if they do. It's something we can all root for. We all want to watch Lions games. We all want to watch Bills games, and we all want to watch this first season of the NFL Week 1 2025 showdown. So let's get into our picks.
Let's do that
for Week 1.
Let's do that. Week 1. I'm not gonna give any analysis, but my last one, just for future, is Caleb Williams most interceptions plus 2,500. Pound it. Anyways,
Oh, you brought 6 to the party.
I just hit, I
You
just
hit me
hit
with a
the
sneak attack at plus 2,500. Whoa, we will dive into this.
Caleb Williams plus 2,500, most interceptions thrown. I'm sorry it's happening. We don't have to do analysis. I know we got to get into day ones.
No. I love this. I want to talk about this for a second because I couldn't agree more. There's a 0% chance he gets benched. 0% chance.
You're reading my mind.
So he is their guy. They're going to live and die by Caleb Williams, and he's got a little Jameis Winston in him.
Exactly. It's
He really
2,500, plus 2,500 for a guy starts all 17 games as long as healthy. For a guy that Ben Johnson is going to push as hard as he possibly can to learn his offense and try new things. I think this is a great value.
I'm absolutely on that. And if there's a team we all like to root against, it's the Bears.
Amen, brother. Amen.
So I'm good with that.
So week 1, I mentioned it earlier. One of my week 1 plays for a player prop. You talked about Travion Henderson. I don't think Ramondre Stevenson's going anywhere. This rushing total for week 1, 42.5 at minus 114. I think this is pretty much a lock at home against the Raiders. What do you think about this one?
I think a couple things about this. I think Travion Henderson is the real deal. I really, really do. I think that you're looking predominantly at goal line work for your boy here. And that 42.5 is right around where it'll be. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes for 60. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes for 21. So I think that line, this isn't a line where he's going to be at 40 or 45. He's going to cover it by 20, or he's not getting there by 20 yards. And I think that's how they settled on that. We just don't know with Stevenson what his snap count's going to be.
Yeah,
we don't know where they're going to use him.
What do you think the work share is? Give me a percentage wise. Is it 60-40? Is it 50-50? I just think that the veteran in a week 1 game, I think he gets the rock. But what do you think it is now, and what do you think it'll be later down the road? Obviously, you have Henderson as rookie of the year.
I think if Ramondre fumbles one time, he's cooked for the year. So it's risky for me as a Pats fan because I listen to WEEI every morning. Every morning, one individual fumbling the football is brought up. It costs them games, and Vrabel is not going to play that. So you better hope he holds on to that football because if he fumbles in the first quarter, you're cooked.
All right, we're back. Devin, what else do you got for week 1 in the NFL?
So I'm just going to rip through these with a brief monologue on why I feel the way that I do. I have watched football now for about 26 years, and every opening week, Vegas gets it wrong. They did it last night in college football with Boise State at minus 5.5 point favorites. They got absolutely blown out. I think they lost by 27. So here's my underdog picks. I like the Chargers +3. I like the Falcons money line at plus 114. I like the Monday Night Football Bears, even though we like to root against them, at plus 112. These are all lines that are real close. Majority home teams. I really feel like this is a guess and that these teams have big players that need to show up at the quarterback position, and I feel like they're going to do that right off the rip. Now, talking about big players at quarterback position, the Patriots will beat my Raiders. I can't believe it's Pats Raiders week 1. They might beat them by 200 points. The Raiders are atrocious. It hurts. It pains me to say this. They're atrocious.
No belief in Pete Carroll. No belief in Geno.
No belief in Geno Smith. Never have. Pat's money line minus 154 is free. And now I'm going to go a little bit in the other direction and try to reverse the Bengals curse here of a slow start. I think after last year's terrible start, strong finish, they are going to understand finally the importance of, if you want to be a playoff team, every single one of these early games matters. I am pounding the Bengals minus 5.5. I think they win that game by 2 scores. I don't think it'll be close. I think Burrow's going to have them locked in. I think winning games now matters more to him than statistics. I think he's maturing in his career as a franchise quarterback. They have two of the most dangerous, take the top off the defense wide receivers in all of football. Give me the Bengals -5.5 at -120.
Hammer that. Absolutely hammer that. I'm not a points giver in the NFL. I like to take them. But I
Mhm.
do think that this is an opportunity where they're being completely misjudged. The one thing I worry about is in a division game, in a grinded out AFC North situation, it's a field goal game. That is my
Mhm.
worry. That is my worry with the Bengals. I do think they win, and I do have them in a parlay. The one that you said really piqued my interest, and I had it absolutely as well. Atlanta, they're an
Yep.
underdog at home against Tampa Bay with a brand new head coach. I like the alternate line here. I like Atlanta -6.5 plus 255
Whoa.
if you want to swing for the fences. I think they win by at least a touchdown here. I think it's going to be a big win for Atlanta. I'm not as worried about Tampa Bay. I do love the quarterback. I love the grit. I love the offensive weapons. I'm not as worried, though, about them being able to stop the Atlanta offense, as well as I think the Atlanta defense is solid at home with Raheem Morris. Really tough team. You talked about the Bengals. I'm going to stay away from the points, but I do like them in a heavy money line favorite with two other
Okay.
teams that I think are absolute locks. The Cardinals at the Saints.
Yep.
Is there much more we got to talk about? Tyler
Rattler
Suggs,
stinks.
Rattler, whoever starts, they're screwed. It's Rattler, right?
Rattler's the starting quarterback,
Eh,
and he stinks.
he's an automatic loss to pick up Arizona in all your fantasy leagues. And then I know I'm going against my Giants here, but I like the Commanders at home. I think it's an absolute lock. You take those three teams, Bengals, Cardinals, Commanders, it's plus 158 at plus money. I really like that parlay. And then the other game that I have here in the first week is you talked about Miami. You think they're abysmal. I don't think they're that bad. I think that on the road in Indianapolis at plus 104 on money line, I think they win that game. I think it's pretty easy. Never been a Daniel Jones guy. I am worried about Taylor. I used to call him the ticket because he goes straight to the show. But if they can keep Jonathan Taylor in check, I think they win this game pretty easily. I think plus 104 is a really good number. I do have one prop. You brought it up earlier. The engaged man, Travis Kelce, anytime touchdown plus 155 in week one. Are we rocking with this?
I love an anytime tutty for him. Listen, that offense is still run by Patrick Mahomes. I don't care if he's 35. I did look at a list when we were talking about the over previously at 4.5. I think the only tight ends in the history of the NFL to have 5 touchdowns at the age of 35 or more is Shannon Sharp, Tony Gonzalez, and one other guy that I can't think of who's Antonio Gates.
Yeah,
So he is in that conversation though.
absolutely.
So and my only fear is that they Gronk him where they're like, chill, we're gonna win the division, we're gonna make the playoffs. That's when we want you. And the Patriots were notorious for this. We'd be like, what happened to Gronk? All the plays, they didn't want to give film on his plays. They knew that this was a turtle race. They're kind of pacing themselves. That's why I think that line is where it's at, because they're thinking this is going to be Rob Gronkowski 2.0, where we can't risk an injury and we don't want to give film away. So we're going to wait for the plays that we know work until it matters. With that being said, why not all eyes on you, game one, put one in the end zone? I
Yeah.
like it. 155, I'll take it.
For 155, it's a fun bet. And listen, in my opinion, we talk about a lot of people have talked about the lack of explosiveness in that Chiefs offense. It starts with being able to attack the intermediate. If you can attack the middle of the field, then that safety has to come down. Then the Xavier Worthy goes over the top. That's what was missing from the explosive Chiefs offense all year last year. To me, that's the secret piece. That's the puzzle. They're going to get Kelce involved a lot. I think he's in for a big bounce back year. I'm not worried about the age. I think he himself is holding himself accountable for his performance last year, and he will have a monster bounce back season. And I think the value on him is great everywhere. Fantasy, betting, Travis Kelce. And maybe I'm an old fart. Maybe I'm rocking with the old guys too much, but that's just what it is. All right. Anything else before we hop out of here for our first extended locker room?
I'm just going to run through real quick. It's in a 30-second blitz of everything that I've thrown up here. I got Travion Henderson, Offensive Rookie of the Year at 14-1, Lamar Jackson MVP, Patriots 8+ wins, Packers to make the playoffs, Bills to win the Super Bowl, and then week 1 action is Chargers +3, Bengals -5.5, and then I've got Pats, Falcons, and Bears all money lines.
Devin, thank you so much for taking the time. We're going to put all of our picks, my picks, Devin's picks, we're going to put them down below in the description wherever we post this video. We're still figuring that out, but we're excited to distribute this, and hopefully we'll have a chance to recap what went right, what went wrong, and then go into week 2.
Absolutely. Pierre, thanks for having me. Do we have a name for the fans yet?
I don't know. You tell me. What should we call them?
Let's see if we can get something in the comments. Maybe drum this up for a repeat offense going into week 2 potentially. But yeah, locker room fans.
Yeah, locker
What
room
do
fans.
you want to be called?
What do you want to be called? I mean, we're trying to be locksmiths. I don't know if we're all locksmiths. I don't know. You guys let me know if you like that, if you don't, if you want something else. Devin's got a lot of fans. I'm trying to get some, so we'll figure out what the mixture want to call themselves. But I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Best of luck with your bets. Let's cash in.
Thanks, brother. Peace.
Peace.